Hey y'all, this is AL Think Madame. So before I even get started, I got to throw all these disclaimers and things out there and just warn you, give you some good forewarning so you don't look and be seeing things. Be like, wait a minute, what's going on with that? Y'all, so whenever y'all see any spots on my clothes or on this little cardigan that I wear, just know that it is from some sort of a blanket that I wear around me because I'm freezing to death. And it's not dandruff or something crazy like that. Also, y'all, my face is doing the most and my gray hairs are really popping and doing the most. So a lot of times y'all will see stuff and think it's dandruff or something crazy. And my little potholes and all that stuff that happened from that chemical spill, my hair that is missing from the whatever degree burns it was, from when that happened, when that chemical exploded in my face and like got right up here. I'm surprised my eyebrows came back, y'all. Like, ooh. But y'all just be mindful that that's just what it is. I be going through some things, and I still haven't heard back from the company that I want to try something in order to see if I can somehow grow these areas back in, because I've always had edges and all that stuff, but it's just a struggle for me. And I don't know what I'm going to do about my gray hair. I don't know if I'm just let it be or just try again with the blackstrap molasses, because it really does seem to work for a lot of other people. And also, look, y'all, look at all of that. Look at it. I'm tired. Like, look. Like, I was stressed out from my cousin. Ended up getting a pimple. And it's just, like, y'all. My nose peeling real bad. My face been peeling in all kinds of places. I'm surprised my ear is not doing the most right now, because normally it be setting it off. This ear been acting right the past like 2 days, but before that, oh no. I hate wintertime. My skin hates wintertime. So I'm just letting y'all know right now, when y'all see things, it look a mess, but I'm still trying to come on here because I don't wear makeup, and I'm not gonna put that. Even if I did, I would try my best not to put that on to further irritate anything going on. But I'm going to get back to working on my skin, and I cannot wait until winter is over because my skin hates it. So anyway, now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's get into this recap. Okay, so JT is outside of this abandoned structure with that guy who he gave a ride. And there are other people and kids there. They're playing basketball and, having fun. So they're having their own little side conversation. Meanwhile, Patrick, that is the name of Tessa's man. Y'all, I feel like I never heard his name. And if they said it, they must have said it one time. But since the newest episode came on, they actually said it quite a bit. So now I know his name. Patrick, he is the lead black detective on this case. They placed him on this case, mainly because he's black. His relation to the case in all actuality. Anyway, they had him and the people who he works with to all surround the structure because they are about to move in on them. So, they still having a little side conversation, JT and the guy, and they end up moving in on them. What happens is they arrest some random guy who ain't had nothing to do with the heist, which was the jewelry heist where the police officer got killed. And one of their guys got shot and was in the hospital. So I guess whoever the guy in the hospital told on was the guy who they arrested. Cool. Y'all, tell me why JT and them, JT was still talking to the guy and was like, what's going on with this? He ain't had nothing to do with that, right? And so, he was like, saying something about a snitch. And so he was like, well, what does that make you? And so the dude was just looking at him like. Anyway, JT was, he got back to his main reason for even associating with this dude, which is the money. So he was like, well, what am I supposed to do about the money? What are we going to do about that? So he was like, look, you just got to deal with that loss. This is retribution. You just got to count that, chalk that up as retribution. Retribution for him was the fact that they got caught and one of his guys got shot. And for him, oh well, the police officer got killed because we got it our way. We was trying to get away with this so we could have some money to come back with. JT wasn't here for that, and he's just like, look, man, JT is tired, y'all. So they had a news crew. You know how news crews do whenever things happen. They were right outside the structure where the guy got arrested. Now, before that happened, right, they had arrested the guy and they drove off in the little SWAT truck type of situation. Y'all, they took him either to another part of that same abandoned building or to another abandoned building nearby, threw him out. All the rest of the guys that were part of the police, they all jumped out and ended up beating the dude down. Little did they know there was somebody sneaking around with a camera and took a picture of all of this. So then, like I was saying, there was someone from the news crew that was out there reporting on it. Y'all, a young Johnny Cochran was there, and he had the pictures in his hand, and he was talking about the misconduct of the police officers and all this, right? The woman that was doing the news reporting was like, well, how are we supposed to know that these pictures are of the young man in question? And so, it was to the point where Johnny Cochran was like, whether it's him or not, this happens all the time and it's not reported and it's not seen. So, whether it's him or not, look at what's happening. Look what these police officers are doing. Whatever. Y'all. So anyway, the guy, Patrick, that's Tess's man. He's at home. He is in his feelings. And so Tess rolled up on him. She could tell. And so she was like, you look, kind of stressed and, really drained. And so she was like, I think I might have some news. I might be pregnant. And so, like, that perked him all the way up, y'all. He was here for it. And so she was like, look, I don't want to get too excited. What I'm going to do is set up an appointment and see what's going on there. So, and just take it from there. So, I'm all here for it. I'm like, yes, hopefully she's pregnant. That'd be cool. Y'all, so anyway, Don Cornelius is in a meeting and he is trying to get other people to see his vision. And he always expresses to everyone when he is describing Soul Train that Soul Train is American Bandstand for Black people, coloreds. So talk to the guy. The guy was like, I don't see it. He was just not here for it, y'all. I don't know if I will remember to say it or not, but eventually he was able to get a backer. And, he wanted Coca-Cola. He has had Coca-Cola before as one of the sponsors. But this time, right now, they have Kentucky Fried Chicken as the sponsor. So, yeah, there's that. So, JT came home, right? And he got a bag of groceries in his hand. His mom is outside the door banging on the door. And I'm looking like, what happened? Did the little girl get tired of her and went and locked the door on her? Because children do stuff. That's what I'm thinking might have happened. But what ended up happening was JT was like, well, let me try it. So he knocked on the door. He was like, hey. So he ended up having to bust the door open. And the landlord and like a couple of other dudes, they were in there like just looking. And they got into an altercation. And he was like, look, you ain't got to yell at me. You ain't got to talk to me about nothing because y'all ain't been paying the rent. The rent is still behind $500 or some dollars. And you going to have to add $20 to that because you just broke the door. So JT gets triggered. And he ends up punching dude. They end up, in a little scuffle. And him and the other people start beating him down. They threw him out. They got evicted. Y'all, I was just like, Lord, don't nobody have time for this. That little small child, like JT is basically of age. His mama grown, but she's a druggie. Oh, Lord, it's just too much. And I was just like, Lord, this don't make no sense. They are homeless. They are homeless right now because she would rather shoot up and get high than to pay her bills. And he working at a little, mom and pop type of place. He ain't getting paid like that. And he hasn't been able to go out with Simone to these little gigs that she finds out about to try to get paid if they win. So ain't no money coming in like that. And they done got evicted. They ain't got nowhere to stay. Y'all, JT ended up going to work and he asked, I think Mom Mabel asked her, for some money. And she could tell that the reason he was giving her was a lie. So it got to the point where she was like, look, I got a little, storage room out back. It's really small. Y'all welcome to it. It has running water, whatever. Cool. So I'm like, oh, Lord, at least the child has something to do, somewhere to be. with some running water if her mama don't, be a fool and burn it down or end up letting her be around a needle and she getting killed or something like that. Y'all, that's what I'm really worried about. The social worker in me is just very terrified for this child. Oh, Lord. So, y'all, Ronald Isley and the Isley brothers, they are at the club that the guy Gerald, remember Gerald is the guy who played on Greenleaf as Basie Skanks? He's at their club, kind of trying to get ready to eventually perform. And Don sees the situation for what it is. And so he gonna try to slick roll up and be like, hey man, let me go ahead and borrow Ronald Isley and the Isley brothers, for my show. And so Gerald was like, that ain't how this go. Like, what you talking about, bruh? He had to go ahead and drop a couple of analogies like, what if I was to just come to your house uninvited and just roll up in your refrigerator and take some stuff? That wouldn't be cool. Like, I was like, Lord, I mean, even though he irks my soul, he has a point. I was just like, oh, all right. Y'all, he is really desperate right now and really trying to find some people. Y'all, so JT's mama is at the little place that JT works at, right? Because like I said, it's right out back, the place where they were told that they could stay by her. And so she gonna try to say, I'm no stranger to a broom, whatever. So the woman was like, well, go ahead and get that broom. Told her what a broom was so that she can earn her keep. Cool, whatever. Do what you... At first, I'm kind of like, all right, you trying to act like you got some sense. Good. Life to knock you on your behind. Now you gonna act right. We all know that ain't how that's gonna go. Anyway, Kendall and Simone, at the same time, they are at JT's job and they're visiting and they're trying to discuss Encore. And so Simone is like, look, y'all, we have to realize our dreams and put it out there and do it for ourselves. No one else will do it for us. So she was, suggesting that they make their own record with their own money, put their money together, pool their money together. So she had like $70 some. Her brother had like $15 to spare, because y'all know he got a child. He got a baby mama. She ain't trying to hear that. And JT had like $3. I was like, Lord, like, it was bad. So she was like, look, we got to do what we got to do so we can be seen and heard and all that. So we can become how we said we feel like we are going to be. We're going to be famous and not have to worry about these things anymore. Y'all, so she's trying to get it put on vinyl. And apparently back then it cost $800. So they're trying to get that up. Okay. So, y'all, we end up revisiting that guy who was butt naked in the trunk that Gerald was telling him, you going to have my money or you going to die. So the dude, I'm like, oh, okay, the dude must got the money. Y'all, he brought back, I guess, most of the money. Gerald wasn't trying to hear that. He was like, oh, I'm a man of my word. You know what I'm saying? They walked off with him a little bit. Y'all, he beat that man down and choked him with a belt and killed him where he stood and walked off like a pimp. I was like, Gerald, you doing the most. Gerald don't care. I just be like, Lord, sir. So anyway, back at Soul Train Studios, Tessa is having her rehearsals and Don has made it clear that he hasn't been happy with the performances that have been happening lately. And apparently, however they were dancing whenever Clarence Carter came on there, it didn't coincide with the music, I guess. That's what they were trying to infer when they mentioned it briefly, because they didn't show anybody recreating a situation where Clarence Carter was up there doing his songs and doing a set or anything like that. So she had her little meeting with them and was like, look, what she said, episode 8, I think she said it was episode 8 that they aired. It wasn't up to par and y'all gonna have to do better. And she basically was like, look, y'all gonna start running laps. Didn't nobody want to hear that. They started like making all these noises and stuff. And then she ended up upping how many laps they're gonna have to do. I was like, oh, well. Y'all, so Johnny Cochran ends up rolling up on the black detective and was like, you got to be on the right side of this. and all that. And, you know, he was like, you need to do the right thing. Cool. Y'all, so the girl, Flo, y'all, they back at dance, you know, the dance rehearsals. Girl, y'all, Flo then sat up there and tried Tessa in front of the whole Soul Train crew. Everybody, all the dancers, everybody that's on set. Tried her. So Tessa, you know, provided a challenge. She was like, look, this is how it's going to go. If you win, y'all get to go ahead and go home. Y'all can pack up and go home early. If I win, y'all got to stay here 4 hours and rehearse hard, and then y'all can go home. So they ended up having a dance off. Y'all, Flo was getting it, but Tessa had to set it off real quick and let her know who was boss, and I was here for it. I was like, yes. Y'all, so at one moment, like after that happened, she was by herself and felt accomplished, but then she ended up looking like, I was like, wait a minute, you losing the baby or what happened? Y'all, I really went into crazy mode when I said all that. I was like, oh Lord, she must have, like, she was really getting it. I was like, oh Lord, maybe she'd have sat up here and lost the baby. Y'all, anyway, so y'all, Don, at one point in time, this is what I left out. When Don rolled up at that little club where Ronald Isley and his brothers were, he saw the potential. He saw the lead bassist. I think his brother. I forgot which brothers that y'all. I done forgot their names. I used to know all their names. The one that play that bass or whatever that instrument is, y'all. He was setting it off. I know this because at first I was like, is that Jimi Hendrix? But then I had to realize, I was like, no, that brother be setting it off. I think, I don't want to speak death on nobody, but I'm almost positive that he is one of the brothers that has passed away. But anyway, in real life. But what Don did was he saw like one of their sisters or some girl that was like standing on the side of the stage. So he was trying to make a little small talk with her, trying to act like he was halfway interested in talking to her at all about anything. And so that's when he found out that Don left early so that he could beat traffic in order to go to an event for the United Negro College Fund, because he don't play that. He lives for all kinds of stuff like that. Ronald Isley, why I said Donald? Ronald Isley was all the way deep into the black experience. He was here for black power, black empowerment, all of that. So that's where he was. So fast forward to now, he is at the event and things didn't go the way he wanted at first because he's looking for Ronald Isley. And so then he ends up partaking in some, booger sugar in the bathroom. And I was just like, sir, this is what we do? This is what we do when we're in high feelings. We just go do some booger sugar real quick. Oh, okay. So this woman rolls up. Y'all, she has something to do with the record label that is no longer on Soul Train. Okay, y'all. So I kept trying to remember what the woman's name was. And I had it in my notes. I don't know if I deleted it or what, but she had it's not a normal name, whatever the woman's name is, y'all. But she rolled up on him, had a little conversation with him. Then next thing you know, she just snorted up a line. I was like, what? Why? Y'all, so you could tell that she's interested in him. And I'm just like, ugh, why don't you go somewhere and be faithful to your wife or just divorce her and then go out here and be the whore that you love to be all the time. Oh, it just be hurting. Y'all, I just cannot. Y'all, so anyway, Flo just sat up here and rolled up on Kendall. Kendall is Simone's brother. Then rolled up on him. And I was just like, please don't get swept up in this mess. So Tess ends up eventually finding Flo and Simone. But before I tell y'all that part, tell me why Simone had dipped off while they were like on a 10-minute break from dancing to go and look in the little rooms that they have set aside for the clothing and all that stuff so she could find something to wear for whatever she's about to do. Because again, they still haven't, specified what all it was. She's sitting up here packing the little dress in her bag. And of course, Flo roll up on her when it happened. I'm just like, why you ain't look everywhere? It's already bad enough that you're stealing. You're not looking well enough around you. You're not aware enough of your surroundings to be sitting up here stealing. Like Tess or Don Cornelius could have rolled up on her, and she wouldn't have known until they was right there. Like, that's how whack she is as far as looking around and being aware of her surroundings. Y'all, so Flo read her about that. I was like, oh gosh. Of course the wrong person rolled up on you and saw that. So anyway. So then at that point, what I was about to say was Tess rolled up on them and they had fan mail. So they are like the two favorites right now, and they have fan mail. They both had like a little stack of fan mail. They were like, oh, we have fans. I'm like, yes, y'all better do that. So yeah, I was tired in my spirit. So anyway, right now, Don is still at this function, and he sees Diana Ross. He sees her in her element, and he's trying to get, close enough to her to rub elbows with her and to get her to be on board with his show. That same woman who was in the bathroom, was like, well, let me go get you a drink or something like that, or refresh her own drink, and then I'll be back to kind of coach you on how you can get close to her. So he want to do all that. He sat up there and went and paid a DJ to play the song, I think Night and Day by Ray Charles. You know that song. Everybody and their mama done seen the Cosby Show where they sat up there and did that. That's what he and Diana Ross ended up doing. And when that situation was over, she was like, how did you know? And he was like, why wouldn't I know that? You're supposed to know things like that. Apparently that is the song that she took and was singing when she was trying to break through. And she went to Hitsville in order to do that. Hitsville is everything. If you've never visited Hitsville, the Hitsville recording studio, you should. It is amazing. Like, I felt so overwhelmed. I just felt like, I felt so many things come over me being in that building. That building is really small, but it has so much history in it. It is amazing. You should visit it. It's amazing. But anyway, that's how she was able to get discovered, and she kept, going back to various places before she finally got on, right? Cool. So, we end up going back to JT's job. His boss rolled all the way up on him and was like, look, I got some meat missing out of the refrigerator. Where your mama at? I was like, no. She ain't been in here a day yet, and she around here stealing folks' meat to steal and sell somewhere. Y'all. And he was like, he over here trying to act oblivious to what we already know done happened. She just sat up here and stole the meat. And he was like, well, maybe, it's, out of place. Let me go try to find it. And so she was just like, ain't no need. I already know you just gonna have to do what you gotta do, because this ain't gonna be no everyday occurrence. This ain't gonna be no all the time occurrence. I ain't got time for all this. I was like, no. Y'all, of course, she stole it and she came back in high. And I was just like, Heifer, you just, you're so tired. Y'all, so anyway, him and Diana Ross, Don, he's talking to her. And, he's getting good vibes. He's thinking that everything is about to go off without a hitch. She eventually says to him that if within 2 years his show is still is actually doing something, when his show is around for 2 years, then maybe she will consider it. Maybe she'll take him up on the offer. And he was just looking at her like, how dare you? Y'all, so anyway. So the officer, Patrick, he is trying to look into the beatings. And some of his white counterparts are not here for it. And they were like, you need to just drop it. And I'm just like, Lord. Y'all, so anyway, the dancers are training. And this one guy who has been talking a lot about, protesting, and he's not content with how they are being treated at Soul Train. He's dancing and he ends up like spraining his leg or his ankle somehow, y'all. I was like, Lord. So anyway, Gerald is somewhere getting touched up. His face and stuff touched up. And I forgot what happened. I hope I'm not ahead when I say this. He was getting his face and stuff touched up, and this dude rolled up and was like, yeah, you need to give us the money back that you took from whoever the dude was that was naked in the trunk that he owed money to. He took the money and, you know, killed the dude. And he was just like, I said what I said, I ain't getting nothing back. So you could take that information back to whoever sent him or whatever. And so he, you know, tried to raise up like he was gonna do something. You know, Gerald got all kinds of goons with him. So the dude ended up, you know, going on about his business. And I was like, Lord, this is too much. Okay, so Diana Ross is doing that reach out and touch somebody's hand song while taking up money. People are giving out like $5,000 checks here, $5,000 checks there. And eventually that woman who Dawn was with in the bathroom gave a $10,000 check and said it was on behalf of the both of them. And Diana Ross said it out loud. And she was like, thank you, whatever, like she was doing for everybody else. He was just like, wow, y'all, I'm tired. But it got to a point where she was like, you know, I'm just letting you know I believe in you and your vision. And we need to, you know, when you take me out on this date, eventually you're going to have to roll up and give me my $5,000 back. I was like, yeah, I figured she can just throw $5,000 away. And that was it. Y'all, so anyway. The guy who sprained his ankle or leg or whatever he did, he hurt his leg. They ended up taking him to the hospital. Y'all, Don Cornelius was not here for that because Don Cornelius was looking like, okay, what is going on here? They were not insured during the time of that taping. And now I got to pay for this. This got to come out of my pocket. I got to do all this. And he was setting it all the way off on Tessa about it. Told her how incompetent she was. And maybe she ought to be done. And like, he is so trifling. Like, I cannot do it. Y'all, I can't with Don Cornelius. I cannot do it. Y'all, so anyway, the guy who got killed, well, the guy who they took when they arrested, they end up doing what they do. Even what they do nowadays, talking about, oh, he hung himself in jail. His name was Dexter. So they were having a vigil, a candlelight vigil. And Flo wanted to know if they were gonna if Kendall wanted to, you know, hang out or whatever, and he was like, nah, I gotta go and be with my son. I gotta take my son, baby mama, or go home or whatever with my son. So before that happened, when the news broke about the guy hanging himself in jail, Gerald, you know, he have a half of a heart. And so he passed his hat around at the club and people were throwing in 20s and all that stuff. So they were taking up money for the family so they'd be able to bury him and all that stuff. And, you know, so anyway, Don Cornelius is, you know, at this point, you know, after the money was taken up, he was talking to him. And so, you know, Gerald was like, well, how much money do you make, you know, doing your dream and all this other stuff? And he didn't want to answer him at first. Then he told him how much. And he was like, you know, I want this percentage of whatever. And he was like, man, I can't do that, whatever. Y'all get to the point where Gerald is like, look, Al Green is going to be getting breakfast at this place. So you need to roll up. You know, he a country boy. He going to want a lot. So you better be ready to pay. And so Don Cornelius is looking like he is very, very happy. Smiling like a Cheshire cat. So he is very excited, you know, that he going to hopefully be able to get the chance to meet Al Green and add him to the lineup of people that he's trying to get on his show. Cool. So, like I thought before, Simone was looking for a dress that would be perfect for her to wear to some show that she was doing. So she's at the door and they ask her for ID. And so she has a fake ID. And the dude was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Go ahead and go on stage. So she ends up going on stage. And I was like, oh, y'all, she ended up eventually when they got to her part, because you know they keep going back and forth before they get to the meat of what they're going to show you in the real whole scene of it. And she did Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin. So, oh, that was so cute. So anyway, y'all, Don Cornelius is drunk and high, and he made it back to the studio. So Tessa ends up telling him what happened to the dancer, and that's when all that situation happened where he told her that she was incompetent or just plain stupid and all this other stuff. So she leave, and he trying to tell her where all these flies come from, and it was stuff going on about the protest and the boy who got killed and all that stuff, and he gonna try to tell her to take him down, and she told him, you take it down yourself, and she left out. Y'all, it was just too much. I was tired. So then Johnny Cochran, not Johnny Cochran, the boy, Kendall sat up here and went to wherever Flo stayed and was smoking weed, and his child over there on the floor playing and watching TV. And I'm just like, you're really gonna sit up here? I hate that. I hate stuff like that. When I was at school, dudes did that. They would sit up here and flock to the horror of the school that everybody was trying to hit. Everybody was trying to get with. And all she was a random lay. And I'm like, y'all getting y'all life for that? Like, everybody, she the pass around, but y'all getting y'all life. And that's how I feel, Kendall is right now as far as that is concerned. I'm just like, you really getting hype over that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could find somebody of substance. You're young. You need to just live your life, and then you over here trying to get your life and want to go steady with her. Like, stop. Y'all, so anyway, the end of the episode comes, and Tessa comes home, and, I neglected to mention that after everything happened where she won that dance-off against Flo, she looked like she thought she was losing the baby, but what happened was her period was coming on. So then she got home. Her boyfriend, whatever he is so excited that he just sat up here and nailed up the name Alex. Because if he have a boy, Alex is fine. Alexander. If it's a girl, Alexandria. So he was like, Alex, it could be both ways, whatever. He all excited. And so she was like, just letting you know, I'm not pregnant. My period came on today. And then she, started trying to talk to him some more about how she wants her career and not a baby right now. So he looking at her like, I know you're not saying what I think you're saying. Because at first she was kind of beating around the bush. Because he thought that she was talking about she was ready to have a baby. But she's ready to get back out there dancing again. They had already crossed that bridge. She said that she wasn't here for that. She just gonna do other things. But now she's sitting up here talking about she want to dance instead of that. So he was like, I'm not trying to be a father for the first time at the age of 40. And so he was just looking at her like, I don't know if I can continue to do this. So I was like, oh, Lord, sir, you done went all the way off. Y'all, but anyway, that's what happened with that. So I'm about to come right back with the second. With the last episode, which is, I think, episode 5. So y'all stay tuned. Bye.